Let's make a donut themed cookie set for the Kids Kingdom daycare. This is a set that I'm making for this daycare as a donation. I want to do one charitable bake a month at least, just for some kids or a family or organization that wouldn't necessarily be one of my customers that would buy my cookies or anything like that, but would benefit from just seeing some cookie art or a cake or macarons or something like that. So this set is for cookies, and we're gonna start this series that I will be teaching. It's gonna be using Canva to make cookies. I am trying to do this voiceover in one take because this video is gonna be long. So if you hear me rambling or if it's just a bunch of gibberish sometimes, that's just me doing it in one take and just being my true authentic self. So here we go. We start in Canva. I usually always pick the Instagram post square as my initial pick. It's just easy to work with my shapes being a square, even if I'm gonna use a scalloped cookie cutter or a boot cookie cutter or anything like that. I just like that it's able to create an even design, especially when you're working with elements, and sometimes you need them to be atop it. The triangle that it makes, it's a good even. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but you see here like that. Like I love that using this square you can get that middle point, and it kind of just helps you with your design. I don't know. It's just, or maybe it really doesn't matter, but I like doing it. So here I am. First, I picked the circle because I know I'm going to do a donut shaped cookie. And I then go in and I type drips. And from drips, I find this element inside of one of the drips because I want to be able to. My main goal was to find elements that I can change the colors to, so that when I do upload the video, or I'm sorry, when I do upload a photo that has the colors in it, I can change the elements from the actual color that's in the photo I uploaded. So these drips were perfect because they fit inside of the circle, and I could edit the colors of them. So here I'm just playing around with the different ones that I thought were cute, and I ended up just picking these three because these were the three that kind of looked different but worked with the design of the layout of the circle and everything. So here I am just pulling and tugging on the designs and just trying to get it to fit in the circle and how it will actually look on the cookie, because the reason why I'm using Canva to decorate these cookies is so that I could get as close as possible to what the actual design will be for the actual cookie. So now I want to find something. This was the hardest part, finding a crown shape that was like the shape that I actually have available, because I know I need to cut out the center for the cookie for the donut, and I didn't want it to be just a simple circle. I wanted it to be a crown because they're the kids' kingdom. So I'm like, oh, a crown shape would be cute on the inside. But the crown that I have, it's like the old school, like the queen's crown, like the one that has the fabric. So it wasn't a pointy, sticky uppy crown. It was more like a curved with a cross on the top kind of crown. And I had a hard time trying to find an element that worked with that, but that was also filled in, and that also I could edit the colors. So this process was probably the longest. Um, it took me the longest to just kind of find an element for it, and I'm searching and I could have missed it. So sometimes, even when I'm scrolling, I'll just start back over, go up to the top, and here I am thinking I got a close one. But like, I really want to get as close as possible to what this cookie is going to look like. That's so that when I'm decorating, there are no surprises. And like, I'm not looking at it like, oh, it looked like it was going to be like this. On this paper or in the design, but it didn't work out. So here I am. I'm like, you know what? Let me, solid crown. I'm typing in the solid crown, just trying to see what comes up. if I limit the search. And this kind of helped because at this point I was like, you know what, I'll use whatever kind of shape is, 75% there. So I knew 3 points was kind of there, and I'm like, I can do this. But this one, I believe I couldn't edit the color. So I had to ditch it. And so there's one like crown that I saw, it was good, but the lines in it were kind of like, oh well, maybe I can make it work. Maybe it'll, because this one was more like the shape, like it was, bumps on both ends and then like a peak at the in the middle. So I'm like, this one should work. So let's try it. Let's get it in the center. Let's make it a good cut size and turn it white so that it would look like it was, a hole. But then I realized this isn't going to work because it has lines in it and there's spacing. So I'm like, okay, so we have to start over. Got to go back to scratch and um, maybe I can. Oh, here I am. Like, oh, maybe I can just put it right on top. No, it ain't gonna work. So scratch that. Go back. That's when I was just like, I'm just gonna use something, that I saw. As long as it's solid, as long as it's 3 bumps, it'll give me a general idea, and I don't mind that. So here I am searching for that. I never know if I should like talk the whole time, but I mean, I guess some silence is okay as well. Here I am, still looking. Like, oh, this one is close. Let's see if there's any more like that. No, not really. Go back. Keep looking. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I do. I go back and I'm like, well, let me try um, a solid shape that's still like a 3 point. And then I'll take that and just cut it in half and use that as the crown. But when I tried to move it up, you see it like kept the shape, but it didn't cut the design. So that would have been perfect, but I didn't want to. It wouldn't allow me to cut the actual design in half. So I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I really want a crown. Like I want to see what a crown would cut out would look like in the middle of this cookie. So back to the drawing board. Like I'm not gonna give up. I know I'll come across something that could work. So we'll get close to that design. So let's try again. Search crown, and I go in with a new idea that I can sacrifice it being the exact shape. I just need it to be a solid shape, and that's what you see me here looking for. And I can tell you, I do find one. Um, it's close in shape. It's not exact, but it'll work. So here it is being used, and I'm like, well, can I change the color? That'll be the okay, I'll keep it kind of conclusion to this. Yeah, like, okay, I guess that'll work. That's not what my shape looks like, but it'll do because it's still giving me the idea of what I need for the cookies. So I go ahead and I press those double boxes that you see there, and I make more for the other pages. So I also had the idea like, oh, okay, if I could change the shadow placement of add some shadowing to this element too, it would also help me see just the end result better. So this is me looking in the edit photo section of Canva and trying to find the shadowing button, but it wasn't available for this element, which was fine because that just would have been extra for me to see. But I mean, I get it. You just want to be a cute element or a cute effect to add to that so that I could also see the depth of the actual cookie. But it did not allow that, which was fine. But we need some more crowns, I believe. The one up top needed a crown. Or below. There we go. It's me copying it again. I'm right there in the middle. I'm still looking like, I wish they had it. I just need a solid bump and a middle point. If you find that element, let me know the name of it so I can find it and change the set one day if I ever redo it or anything like that. But now it's time to move on to the sprinkles. And I just literally punched in sprinkles. So I have this set that I got at Target and it's already colored. They're like this birthday effect sprinkles, and I know I'm going to use those. So I'm just looking for an element that kind of matched that. They were circles and circle flats, and then the sprinkles, but they didn't have the stars. So that one that on the left there would have been perfect, but it wasn't. So in Canva, since there's so many elements to choose from, I always take the time to kind of look and to browse and to, push on the buttons to check out the more like this and see what the artist has also designed because there could be, could my perfect element could be there just one scroll away. So I keep looking, and then I settle on this one that is like skinny lines and stars, even though they're like bubbles. Of bubbles are the ones that I'm going to use. Um, First, though, it looks like so here. Okay, I abandoned mission of the sprinkles. That's what it was. But I uploaded from my uploaded files. I uploaded the logo from the Kids Kingdom webpage. And so since I was able to upload the logo, you see to the left, it also added the colors from that photo. So I was able to literally just hit the element for the donut and add the colors from the logo. So that way I know the cookies will look like will match the colors of the logo. I thought that was going to be a good aspect. Look at that. Go Canva. Go me. Y'all tell me if you ever want videos uploaded that are me not talking, because, like I said, I can ramble, I can talk, I can explain the process, my thought process for everything I'm in here doing. So this is me adding the sprinkles that I saw, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna come back to that, but let me change the colors. And so I'm like, well, maybe I'll just make it big, but I'm like, no. I want it to look exact. Like if I was decorating the cookie, I'd only put the sprinkles on the dripping part anyway, so I wouldn't put it over the whole cookie. So let's just make the picture small, duplicate it, and then add it and stretch it as needed. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm duplicating the same size for each petal, I guess, or each strip. And then I'm going to stretch it out here to kind of fit and fill in the design a little bit. I don't mind if there are a few over or over the tan part or over the crown because I can move the crown above those, so it's gonna be fine. And I like Canva is great for just getting this general idea and a plan of what my design is going to be. Like I don't need it to look exactly like my cookie because it's it's up to me to create it, and I know what I'm going to create. So I know I'm not going to get sprinkles, where it may look like it is on here. So the next one is a swirl, like how how donuts have the little swirl design sometimes. So I'm looking up swirls. I literally just typed in swirls. And I'm just trying to find one that kind of goes up, down, not circle or squiggle. If that helps. So these were close, but no scar. So you keep looking because, again, Canva has tons of elements. So we just keep looking, and short of punching in donut swirls, I'm like, I know I'm going to find something. But I like using just a generic search or query for elements because those are usually the elements that you can change the colors for. So I saw one that I liked, and so I clicked the search for more, and I didn't see it do any more in depth, but see one that matched any more than this one did. But this one was perfect. I was like, okay, no, this is good. We'll stretch it, we'll add it. And I can change the color. So it's a winner. I ended up keeping this one for this cookie. And then deciding that, okay, we'll make this a green cookie. But you also need to change the position. So we go to positions and we locate the crown. And I need to bring that above the squiggle or bring the squiggle below the crown. So you can do it one of two ways. But now we also have that cookie made. And then for the last one, I kind of wanted to go for the squiggle with sprinkles on top. So that's why if I was decorating, it's going to be, the royal icing squiggles just like the green at the top in the middle of donut. But it would also have sprinkles. So I was looking for green sprinkles. I don't know what I was thinking because it wasn't going to do green on green. But I don't know. So maybe just a little brain fart. And I ended up settling on orange sprinkles because that color wasn't used as a like an accent color or anything except for on the first cookie for the drip, which I probably will go in with like purple sprinkles. I don't know. I have to see what I have available. But if I do change it, I'll come on here and change it just for just because. I mean, just because. Why not? But here I am, like, no, not green. I need orange sprinkles. Oh, you need the space. Make sure you're spacing it out. And I can't type for something. Like I said, at this point, my brain was like, man, forget this. And it didn't take long. Like, it usually takes about an hour if I know where I'm going, what I want to do. The hardest part is finding the perfect elements, and if I don't have the logo already saved, or just finding colors that match in the scheme of things. But it doesn't take that long. That's why I like it, because again, if I were to what I would typically do to find designs or recreate cookies and orders is, go on Pinterest, go on Instagram, search whatever, the theme of the party is, and kind of design from what the customer sent me from their Pinterest board, from their screenshots, or, just pick apart elements from different cookies that I like, oh, I like the shape of this one, I like the shape of that one. That's kind of how I come up with my designs. But I feel like with this, I can I my designs are more mine. Um, Even though I'm using elements that are available for others, it's still what I put together. I don't think anybody's done like, oh, let me put this purple drip with this green swirl and this crown and this cookie. Like, let's make that. I think people are coming up with that. So here we are. I found the sprinkles. I made that happen. But the next thing I want to do is put faces on them, because these are going to be for kids, and I love adding the cute little kawaii faces, like the simplest faces to my cookies. And I know I didn't want to do like one face. Like I'm working on like getting my designs to be more designs than just, two or three elements. Like, that's it. And being that, like, I want to step out of my comfort zone and do more designs, sets with six different shapes or designs. And even though it's only a dozen cookies ordered, like, I still I want to do more. So here I am looking at the other face options, even though I've chosen that one down at the bottom. That's usually the shape I go with every time. Just because you see it, the kids smile. It's easy, it's cute, it's simple. So I play around with some of the other designs and just kind of study them. But I'm like, no, this one is good. Let's find this one, and let's get ones where the mouth is maybe doing something different. So I go again to find more like this. And in here, I know I don't want to use any with the mouth open, um, because I just don't want to have to paint or make an extra color for the tongue, and I don't want to have to create space where I may need space if when I'm designing the cookie. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I know I just want, simple eyes and a simple mouth. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I see a couple that may work, but they have that weird mouth. And I don't do angry faces really like that. So I'm like, okay, I won't do the you bit me face, the sad crying face. So cute. But then I see the wink and I'm like, oh, that one's adorable. So let's put the wink on there. I like it. Let's go, wink. And glasses, because I used to wear glasses when I was a kid, and now my baby girl wears glasses. And so let's be inclusive. And that simple smile, I'm like, I can do that. Let's add glasses. But I'm looking now at that purple one, and I'm like, if I were to paint this cookie like this, would I be able to see that face clearly? Because it almost looks like I don't know what's going on with that eyeball. So, but that's in my head. That's just, I know that's one of the things I need to do. But I also want to put arms because I saw this one cookie and I saw this is where I saw this. Sorry, I saw this cookie where the girl had the donuts hugging. The donut looked like hugging itself. So I'm like, ooh, what if I make the donut? But it's like you can see that he's like almost dancing. Like the winking one should be dancing. So let's put some arms in there. And I was like, okay, this is an element. This is a search that I've never searched on Canva. Stick arms. Like, are you gonna have that? Like, are you gonna recognize that? And yes, it does. It has options for stick arms. I almost went to that one, to the second one in with the hand and the stick, but I knew that wasn't gonna. I'm not painting that on a cookie, but it's just funny to me, just and amazing how much stuff you can find on Canva if you type it in. Like, yeah, I want to find stick arms, like stick for your arms, and they have it. Like, thank you for whoever made that. That's cool. So here I am. Like I said, I kept looking at that eyeball. I'm like, I want you to be able to see that that cookie is winking. And so instead of changing the color to a light green, I changed the what is it? The transparency. There it is. The transparency of it. So that way, if I decide to go back to the original color at all for some odd reason, it's still there. Like I'm not looking for the logo so that I can get the original color. It's already in there. I just have to change the transparency of it. So here I am playing with the arms again. You can flip it or you can manually spin it if you need to, using that button down there that looks like the circle. Um, so yeah, here I am playing with that again. Like, oh, maybe it'll look like he's rejoicing, kind of like with the wink with his hands up. But I'm like, I like it. I just don't love it. Let me clear out the boxes so I can see the cookie. That's me looking at it like, yeah, yeah. Repositioning, and I'm just like, this is missing something because it's just not looking right. Like, hey, well, let me see. Let me check out the other arms and see what else they have. Um, let's see these just basic stick arms here, which kind of give me the feel of feet, but they're walking sticks. And you see they have the different like squiggles and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it that you could use those for arms, but it wasn't what I had in mind. But here I am again. Okay, adding them to this one, and this I'm gonna make like doing the hug like I saw in the cookie that I saw the arms on. So here I am. We're going. So again, this is another reason why I like using the square, because when I take the elements and I can like push them up against the square, it's easier to just line up. I don't know if that's even, I, it's just easier for me. So I don't know. I just use it and do it every time. So sometimes even when I change an element, instead of trying to match it to the other one, I'll just duplicate it and then flip it. Saves me, because I don't want them to be different sizes or anything like that. So I'm going in, I'm just tweaking and moving along. And so this, I wanted the arms to be the same, so I highlighted the two of the both arms and grouped them together so that I could just duplicate it and then drag it up. And I deleted those up arms and added them again to the bottom here, to all three elements. This was something that I was like, okay, yeah, this will be the same, because I do need this to do right. So, you stop, you take a break, go do something with the kids, come back, and I'm like, this still isn't right. Let me turn the cookies arm to 10. Because it wasn't connecting for me. And so when I did the change all, it changed everything that was black. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that, but it's easy enough to just go in and manually change. So I had to ungroup the elements, which, you know, it's not hard, but I didn't want to have to do all of that. It'd been nice if I could just did a change all. And then I needed to go in and also move the arms to where it should lay and look right on a cookie if a cookie was hugging itself. So here I am spinning it, moving it, rotating it, just trying to get it right and lined up and even to the square so that the elements are even. And I'm like, okay, this looks all right, but the arms are touching. Like, I don't want it to look crazy, but spread out some more. It needs to spread out and move. But I also want to be able to see the arms through like, over the drip. Like, that's where the arms would probably be in my eyes if you were, like, looking at the cookie. So, let's move it. And the difficult part was just that each drip was different, so I couldn't just copy it and bring it down. Like, I had to, tweak the arms for each individual design. Like, should we make it smaller? Should we make it bigger? And here I am again, just copying it and moving it over. And sometimes those spins, those flips and vertical flips don't work out right, but you gonna get it. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get it. So here we go. Don't need to change the size, just need to lift it up. And there we go. He's looking like he's giving himself a hug and a wink. And I think when I make the cookie, I'm just gonna skip the eye part for that swirl. And so from seeing that bottom design, I saw like, oh, okay, I know what I need to do with the top one. I need to like move these arms up and kind of like, they could be this size, but they don't need to be this far down. Like, oh, look at them hugging. All right, and then that's me working on that bottom one, doing the same thing. I'm gonna zoom it in for you so you can see. Here we go. Like I said, it's grouped together, but now I need to ungroup it. And now I can highlight each individual arm and change the color as needed. And the same. And then I'm just gonna move it and rotate it as much as needed. That one's kind of high. I might have to change that, but there we go. And you wouldn't be touching an eyeball and hugging. I am literally recording this voiceover in bed, so if I sound sleepy, it's because I am. But I wanted to get this video uploaded. And that's the finished product. So I'm going to make those 3 cookies for this group. So you can stay and watch while I actually make this piece of art come to life in cookie form. And thank you for watching. Just follow along for more videos. You can view my TikToks as well at A Carried Market. Thanks.